to the Knitty Cats podcast, episode 1. So if you watched the introduction, you would know that I was trying very hard to get my sister to be a part of this. In fact, I probably wouldn't have done it. I wouldn't even thought about it unless I thought she would do this with me. But as you can see, I failed. There's just one cat here today. So I had a little bit of a conundrum. I'm like, now what? Because it was totally last minute that she decided she couldn't do it. So I thought, oh my gosh, I replied to all these people that she was in because she was in, and now what do I do? I feel like I may have misled them, and I didn't. I mean, she truly. So if you commented, and I commented back that she was in. So, and then I didn't know what to do. I thought, oh gosh, I have 2,000 people who watched this, and what do I do? I don't know that I am worthy enough of a knitter to do this on my own. I'm going to certainly try, because I had over 2,000 views, and I cannot believe that. Because if you'd known what I was doing, I truly was trying just to figure out the camera. So I was doing this mock thing. I hadn't showered for 3 days. I was camping. And then as I started editing it, I thought, you know what, it's kind of funny. So I put it up, and this is what happened. So I'm going to try and go on and see what happens. If you like it and you want me to do more, I will continue to do more. Like I said, I'm having a really hard time feeling worthy enough by myself because my sister's a really, really good knitter. I'm a jack of all trades, so to speak, and so I just hope I'm worthy of a podcast. I'm going to try. I am filming outside in a little corner of my garden. It's morning. I was trying to think if it would be a good idea. I was thinking if it would be a good idea or not, because sometimes there's some road noise, and right before I started filming, a trash truck went by. So I think it's going to come back. So I hope it's not too noisy. You can hear all the birds. I wanted to get up earlier and start filming earlier, but I didn't. So here I am. Again, thank you for everyone who subscribed. I can't believe how many people subscribed. I can't believe how many people watched the video and liked the video. I even had someone comment from South Africa, which is it's mind-boggling to me. And I know it's the internet, and I know it's just one big world, but it kind of was like, oh my gosh, and she was so sweet to comment. So thank you from South Africa. I would love to know where people are watching from. I had a couple people from Colorado, which is great. And then I just want to see where people are from. I can kind of tell by the analytics what time people are watching. So that was interesting. I've learned so much. And so I think there are people watching either in the middle of the night or from other countries. But I'd love to know where you're from, what state. That would be really interesting to me. For the foreign viewers, I am going to put a map of Colorado up. I'll insert it here right now, and a little arrow as to where we are located. Colorado's in the middle of the United States, kind of towards the west, and the Rocky Mountains run straight down the state. So half of our state is plains as far as you can see, and half of our state is very, very tall mountains. In fact, I think we have 52 or 54. They're called 14ers, and they are peaks that are higher than 14,000 feet that are hikeable. I think they're all hikeable, but some need technical equipment. Anyway, and we have one I can see one right from our backyard. It's Long's Peak, and it's beautiful. So I will insert that map because I know sometimes the United States is just big, and there are a lot of them, a lot of states, and so maybe you don't know where that is. So that will be helpful. I will take you a moment now to tell you about myself, since I wouldn't do it in the last video. I was waiting for my sister. I am a wife. I've been married 24 years, and I'm a mom. I have 2 kids. I have a son who's 19 and just finished his first year of college, and I have a daughter who's 22 who has 1 more semester of college. So I experienced the empty nesting last year, and for a short time in the fall and then again in the spring, and that was amazing. I got married late and I had my kids late. I had my son when I was 40, and that wasn't really recommended. I always say, who has my body and when are they bringing it back, because that's a tough gig. And I had a full-time job. I ran a business, so it was a lot. Anyway, so I really enjoyed my little empty nesting time, and they're both back this summer for the first time. My daughter has been, for the past 4 years, been a camp counselor at camps, and so I've just had my son, and so to have them both back, we're adjusting. It was a rocky first couple of weeks, but now we're good, and it's nice to have them home. I also have 4 cats, hence the name Knitty Cats. I have 4 rescue cats. I've always had cats. The last cats I had, the 3 I got from kittens, and they lived to be 18, 20, and 21. So we are definitely good with geriatric cats. Hence, we adopted geriatric cats. We have 4, and they're fun. If you've never rescued an animal, I loved the other 3 cats, but if you've never rescued an animal, the gratitude is unbelievable. They are amazing. And 3 of them were bonded. They were from the same place. So that was great. Anyway, I'll tell you the things I like to knit. The things I like to knit the most are sweaters, cardigans, because I like the gratification of wearing and using what I knit. I'm not a great gift giver of my knits, mostly because it's hard to have people that are knit worthy. Knitting takes a long time. Making anything takes a long time. And you kind of worry, will they take care of it? Will they wash it right? Will they really like it? I'm not sure people understand that, and I'm not faulting that. Until you've done it, you don't know. And trust me, my sister used to make me socks and things and hats, and it's not that I didn't appreciate them. And there's an airplane. But until you sat for hours and hours and then finished and blocked, you don't understand it. Once I started knitting, I was so grateful for all the socks and all the things that she'd made me over the years. So that's why I knit sweaters, because I can wear them myself. Our showroom is very cold. It's cold in the summer because the air conditioning's on, and it's cold in the winter because it's an old building with all windows, and I freeze. So I love being able to wear my garments that I make. It's rewarding to me, and maybe justifies me doing it. I don't know that I need justification, but it does. I also watch a lot of podcasts when I'm knitting. So I tend to knit less complicated things, and I'll show you some things. I don't know, I've done color work, and I just don't knit tons of lace, because you have to be looking and not be able to watch. And what I'd like this podcast to be, I'm a normal person, and that's why I'm having a hard time with the worthiness by myself. With my sister here, it would have been different, because she's totally worthy. I mean, she's like this amazing knitter. I'm just a crafter. I'm a little of everything. So I hope that I can inspire you to do some of the things that I do, and you enjoy. I'm kind of a humorous person. I love pranks. I love humor. So hopefully I can bring a little light to your day too. But I enjoy watching podcasts that give me inspiration in styling and patterns. So those are the podcasts I watch. And I think next time I will let you know some of them that I watch. In case you haven't seen them, you can tune into them too. I want you to give me feedback on if you're enjoying the things that you're seeing, because I like outdoors. Here comes that trash truck. There it goes. I'll let it go. It wasn't as noisy going up the hill as it was down the hill as it was going up, so that was good. I would love your comments on if you're enjoying the outside scenes that I do. I love to garden. We grow our own vegetables. I like our flowers and herbs, and so I will show you pictures of my garden. I also like to camp, and I will show you some pictures of that too. So if If you like them, let me know. Otherwise, I'll phase them out. And hopefully I can be outside this summer a lot. And today it's beautiful. It's been raining a lot in Colorado. In fact, I think we've had 13 inches of rain. I looked last night, which is wonderful because we don't normally have this much rain, not even close. I feel like I live in Scotland. It's amazing. We camped last weekend on the other side of Rocky Mountain National Park, but on the other side of the divide, the Great Divide, the Continental Divide. And the water, it's the source of the Colorado River, which the Colorado River is huge, but you can hike up to the source, which I have before, and it's a little trickle, and then it just gets big. And we were camping in the valley where the river starts, and it was full, and it has been nonstop, and the snow isn't even done melting really until August, which is great news because I also read that Lake Powell, which is fed by the Colorado River, a lot of rivers along the way are, is 75% full, and it started in the spring in April or March at 20. It's been very low for years, so hooray! I celebrate the rain and I love snow. So we have four very clear seasons here in Colorado, very distinct spring, summer, winter, and fall. So it will be hot in the summer, and I've been enjoying it not being so hot. My sister said that it's going to be supposed to be a cool summer, and so far she's proven right. I want to, let's see, where was I next? We live down the road from Estes Park, Colorado, which is important for a lot of things, or significant to a lot of things. It is the home of the Stanley Hotel, and if any of you have ever heard of the movie The Shining by Stephen King, that's where the movie was inspired, and some of the outdoor scenes were written there, and or shot there, and he actually wrote most of the book there in room 12, which I didn't know was also, I got married there, and I also my wedding room night was room 112. So that was all a little bit creepy, because I didn't find that out until right before we were getting married. So anyway, so it's famous for that. It's also famous for Trail Ridge Road, and it is the east entrance, another trash truck, the east entrance of Rocky Mountain National Park. Rocky Mountain National Park is amazing. 2.5 million people visit it a year. It is stunning. I will include a couple pictures of going over Trail Ridge Road. Trail Ridge Road is the highest highway in the United States. It's 12,400 feet above sea level. It's above tree level, which means there are no trees, and it's tundra that survive there. It's like tundra foliage is what I want to say. I can't speak because there's another truck. So it's pretty spectacular. I also have a short clip video of my phone out the window as we are driving by, and you can see exactly how tall the snow is still in June. The other thing that happened though while we were there is it's the Estes Park Wool Festival. My sister and I went to that, and I will let you know some of the things that I purchased there. So we will start with the Wool Festival, and it will be, let's see what the cat dragged in. Okay, so I purchased the first thing. First we made a pact that we weren't going to buy anything, that we don't need any yarn, we don't need any fiber, and we don't need any bags, which is true. But the first thing we walk in, we see this cute little booth called the Kitten Cat. So cute. So cat got our eye. And this beautiful fiber my sister fell in love with. And it is stunning. It's silk. It's 50% merino, 50% silk, and 50% rayon, I think. But super soft when you spin it up. So I did get that. Right off the bat. So it took like 10 seconds to break our pact. Then I got this wool. And this wool is from a place called Hesta Farm. Hesta Farm is a women-owned sheep farm, very small, and I'd never met them, but I'd seen them on Facebook, and they're just south of here, and I'd been meaning to get down there and see what they had, but they raise their own sheep and shear them, and then they're milled in my hometown of Craig, Colorado, at Yampa Valley Fiber Works, which is the most amazing place. Hopefully at some point I can head back there and take a little tour and show you, because it was amazing. These people work hard and they make the most beautiful wool. It's my favorite wool, and I don't know, maybe it's the processing, because this feels the same to me. Anyway, this wool is from Abby, and it's the last wool they had from her for the whole year. So she was sheared in just this spring. It went and was processed very quickly, and it is the most beautiful. It's not black, it's dark chocolate, and it's a natural color. It's beautiful. They only had 2 skeins, or 2 hanks of it, so I did get these, and I don't know what I'll make. These this is from Chloe. She's not as soft as Abby, but I thought this is enough to make something, and I don't know what, but it's beautiful, and I fell in love with it. And I will insert a picture here of one of the people that own the sheep, and they all have full-time jobs, so this is not a money making. I'm sure they make money. I'm just saying it's not fully sustainable at this point, but it's really cool. They have beautiful, beautiful yarn. The next thing I bought was this stuff, which is kind of crazy, and it's like, I'm pretty sure it's rayon or something. I don't even know what it is. It's bubbly, and I bought this. I kept walking by it, and these colors, these jewel tone colors, are amazing. I bought 5 of these, and I'm going to use them for plying. Now, if you're not a spinner, you usually spin 2 bobbins of yarn, of wool, and then you ply them together. So when your yarn's called 2-ply or 4-ply, it means they have 4 bobbins or 2 bobbins or 3 bobbins. So that's what the plying is. And so sometimes people ply with a different thread, or you can ply with the same yarn that you'd spin 2 bobbins of the same fiber, or you can spin with something else. And I thought this would be really fun to ply with. I hope I do it, because it's really pretty jewel tones. The next thing I bought, we bought these little, I should have had these out, sorry. These little stitch stoppers that say Cat Mom. So we each got those, and then we each got some little cute gem-tony little stoppers. So I didn't need any of those either, but you see those things, and if you are a cat mom, everything's cats, so you get them. And then I walked by the last booth. I was waiting for my sister. She was buying a beautiful silk scarf, and I saw this, and I kind of looked down at it. I'm like, oh my gosh, this fiber. And it's this little old lady selling it, and I said, that is so beautiful. And she had a ginormous amount of it, like, I don't know how much. I don't even know how much that much would weigh, but clear lawn and leaf bags, full 2 at least, packed. And this fiber is from her own sheep. She's from South Dakota, and I will insert her information and what the content was, because I forgot. But when I saw this, I was like, oh my gosh. And then I pulled on it, and it has the longest fibers. I cannot wait to start this. I have something else on my bobbins now, so it may be a while. But you can see how pretty that's going to be. Now, I don't know what I'm going to do with it. I did buy enough to make myself a sweater. I have 2 more this size. But if I plied it with something else, so I have enough to do a full double ply, 2-ply with this for myself. But if I plied it with black, another black or brown, I could make my husband a sweater. I just don't know if I want to ruin this yarn because it's so pretty. I don't know if you can see the chocolate in this yarn. It is just stunning, and all these colors are natural. So I literally walked by and was like, oh my gosh, so pretty. So I have that, and I'm so excited to get started. Other acquisitions that I have that aren't necessarily from the Fiber Festival, I bought from a local yarn shop. We have 3 amazing local yarn shops here. We have one that's called My Sister Knits, the Loopy U, and Lamb Spun, and all of them are totally different. So My Sister Knits, and I hope that they each let me do a little tour of them because they're all so uniquely different. My Sister Knits is where I learned to knit, or as a result of why I was able to knit. They are a community. Obviously, your local yarn shops are community businesses, and they are very good about donating to charities. So I was at a breast cancer charity event, and I bid on a basket that was, it was just I didn't even know what I was bidding on at the time. You know, I'm just someone who I like to bid on a lot of things to support them. So when I won, I was very surprised because the girl came in later to the store and she said, "You won this on Saturday." I'm like, "I did? What is it?" And she said, "It's a set of interchangeable knitting needles, wool, and one of those beautiful baskets." The basket, I don't know what they're called, but they have the leather on them. Beautiful baskets. I'm like, "Oh my gosh, thank you." I don't know how to knit. I was a crocheter. But I was so grateful to them because when I did start knitting, I had a full set of interchangeable needles, and they're just gracious. It's a woman and her sister, Julie and Diane. So, and then we have Lamb Spun, which I buy my fiber from, and Shirley's amazing too, and then the Loopy U, which has just moved to actually closer to me, so it's great. So hopefully we can spend a little time on each one, and I can tell you about them. But what I bought was 4 skeins of Opus yarn, and if you've never felt this yarn, it's indulgent. It really is beautiful. And I made one of my favorite sweaters, the Petite Knits Anchor Cardigan. And it's my favorite because it's a fingering weight cardigan. It's dressier, and it doesn't have a button band. The button band is knit in. It's just a little bit classier sweater, and I love it because I can wear it casually, and I can also wear it a little bit dressier. And I thought, why wouldn't it be nice to have a black one? And so I bought this. So I'm excited to get started on that and hope to have that done by fall. Oh, and they always put a little candy, and I'm just seeing it. They always put a little something yummy in your bag. Oh my gosh, and it's the best. This is pink grapefruit coated with apricot, and it's a Danish wine candy. So good. Anyway, I didn't see that was in there. But isn't it neat when shopping, it is all about the experience, and that's why it's cool when you are able to shop local or from dyers that you know. It's the little extra things. It's the way it's wrapped. It's like that. It's the little something in there. So that was really cool. Other things that I bought, I did treat myself to this for my Mother's Day present to myself. And this is the Joy of Knitting set, and they're square needles, wooden needles by Knitter's Pride, and they are so pretty. And I do tend to like a little bit blunter needle. These aren't blunt, but this is about where I'd like to be. Sometimes smaller needles go right through my finger, and it's unexpected, and you're just like, oh my gosh. So I do have a lot of set of interchangeable needles because I think I have a needle addiction. Anyway, I have a lot, but I love these, and it came with a little pouch for notions, and also needles and stitch markers. And again, it's the extra things. But one of the really cool things about these is that they are twistable cables. So I'm super excited because I do have several sets of Knitter's Pride needles, and I'll be able to use them. But that was really cool, and I just liked it. It was kind of groovy. I like groovy. So that was something I bought myself. Oh, and then this we also bought at My Sister Knits. They have candles that they've commissioned someone to make for them. Spotted Donkey Goods, and they're soy candles. And they had, this one's called Stitch, and it's Moroccan cashmere. And my sister got Pearl, and she might have got Pearl and Stitch. I don't know. They have several different ones that are named, and this one's Sweetgrass. So I haven't lit those up yet. So I'm excited to do that. I love candles. What else have I bought? From Knitty McPurley, who I love. If you know from the first episode, or the introduction, I love her. And I bought, this is her color of the month for May, and this is her color of the month for June. I have all the colors to go with it. I'm a loyal customer of Knitty McPurley. Her yarn's amazing, and so is she. So if you haven't watched her podcast, or you haven't been to her shop, you need to do that. What else? Oh, I got these at My Sister Knits as well, the Knitting for Olive Pure Silk, and I have a project on the needles that I will show you about on these. What else? I think that's all I bought. I can't believe it. I know it's a lot, but this is kind of more than just one trip. It's like a month, which still, I know, it's still a lot. So that's what the cat dragged in. Next, I will show you my finished objects, and if you haven't noticed, I finished the Corran cardigan. In my introduction, I was having a hard time with it. And looking back, I know all the mistakes I made, and it's not because the pattern wasn't written well. She writes amazing pattern, Rebecca Klaus. She writes amazing patterns, Crayabea Knits. I'm a skimmer, so first thing that happened was I didn't read the pattern all the way through, which is a must. Always. The second thing I didn't do, I was in my recliner, probably watching a podcast, when I was trying to figure out what size I was. And normally I take a highlighter and I will go through and highlight the size I need. But I didn't see a highlighter and I didn't want to get up. So that's what happens, is you actually mess up. And I didn't know, like I mentioned before, when I saw pieced garment, I thought the sleeves would be knit flat. I thought the front would be knit, the two front pieces, and then the back pieces would be knit flat. So when I started, I knit this, when in actuality the whole back is knit like this. And I started it and thought it was way too big. I'm like, if this is just the back, I've got to rip it out. So I did. Instead of going back and trying to figure out what happened, I ripped it out, which that was a lot of lace knitting. And then I went and onto Ravelry and thought, I'm not going to give up, because that's who I am. I'm a determined person. I might have setbacks, and usually I just back up and go a different direction, or go back up and go to the same direction, but this way. But I don't give up. So anyway, I was going to make this for summer. So I went on Ravelry and looked at some of the projects, and so someone had laid out their garment from here down, and I'm like, oh my gosh, that's the whole bottom. So I thought, okay, I can do this. So I started again, and I did run into some little, once I got going on it, it was good, but there were some little things that I did wrong. And of course I wore it to work the other day, and my sister noticed my mistake right away, right over here. I'm like, it's on the side. No one's gonna notice. She noticed right away. She was looking like, oh my gosh. Anyway, one of the other things I did that is absolutely hilarious was, because it's a lace pattern, the right side and the wrong side aren't as obvious as it normally is. So I actually attached the sleeve on the wrong side. Well, I noticed it right after I had thread it through, but it was a trick threading the arms on, because they're knit in the round. So you attach the arms, you pick up the arms just like you would a normal sweater. And so I was like, oh my gosh, I had to add stitches, and just to get the count right, I'm not doing this. So I thought I'll just go the other direction, thinking, not knowing what I was, turned it inside out and go the other direction. Well, no, because then you end up with the seam on the outside, which I did. but you can't really tell. And I made sure and I did the other one the same too. So those are the kind of things that I do. I just make things work, and I wasn't going to take that sleeve out, so I just made the other one the same. Okay, so that's the Great Corran cardigan. Anyway, it's really nice, and I'm really glad I have it. It will be fun for summer. I can wear it with a white shirt or over this dress, a dress like this, or with a jean shirt. It's just cute. I love it. And the yarn for this was a hand-me-down from my sister from years ago. It's not even available anymore. It's cottonese in almond, and it's a 50-50, so 50 cotton, 50 polyester. And I loved this. It was really, really nice to work with. The lace made my hands a little achy, but not the yarn. Sometimes cotton is hard to work with. But no, the pattern was really well written. I like her patterns, and I like patterns that take the time to put stitch counts and tips in, because not everyone's an experienced knitter. And I think it's really important, if you are a pattern writer, keep that in mind, because it's so discouraging to not be able to figure out a pattern, especially if you don't have anyone to ask. I know there are a lot of people that don't have local yarn shops, or you feel obligated if you didn't buy the yarn there, you couldn't go there anyway and ask. I mean, that's just, I guess, etiquette. So if you're a pattern writer, keep that in mind. You know, a pattern that's really hard for me to follow, maybe not now, but when I was started knitting, were the drops patterns, because those Scandinavian people meant they are knitting from the time they are, you know, in kindergarten, they start knitting. And so the patterns leave a lot for you to figure out on your own or to assume. And so I struggled with those. So I just stopped trying to do them. I could probably knit them now, but that wasn't fun for me. So keep that in mind. All right, another finished object I have is this, and this is Petite Knit's April cardigan. And this turned out pretty cool. This was a cool project for me because I bought this yarn when we were in Italy 2018, and we were on the Amalfi Coast, and this is from the little town called Amalfi. And I was in search of yarn because I thought Italy's gonna have all this yarn. It wasn't that easy to find, but I did ask around, and there was this little lady, and she could hardly walk, and I knocked on her little shop door, and it was like no one had been in there for 100 years. And I asked if she had yarn, and she started pulling out of these big armoires, climbing up and pulling, and they were in plastic. So I felt at that point, she's working hard, I'm buying yarn, and I did buy quite a bit. But I did buy this the wool for this. It's extra fine merino. But the funny thing about this yarn was, it was in plastic when I bought it. So, I mean, obviously I'm 5 years later trying to knit it. It had an Italian moth had its way with most of the yarns, most of the balls, all but one. So I would have to, here's what I have left. I would have to, on each ball, I would have to take off a good portion because it was full of holes. And I did save some. But anyway, this was a pretty neat pattern. I liked it because it had a unique top here. The shoulder is unique. I don't know if you can see that. It's really pretty. And she had you do Italian bind-offs, which I'm like, I don't want to do something. Because when you're at the end, you just want to be at the end. So not only was it an Italian bind-off on the cuffs, on the bottom cuff, on the bottom, and also on the button band. And that was a challenge. But it turns out so pretty. And so if you've never done an Italian bind-off, try it. They turn out really, really nice and very professional. And here's the little label that I had from her, and it's called Dolly. I have some more, I just don't know the colors, and I probably have more Italian moth friends. What else am I working on? Oh, of course, I have the camper throw. This is a little bag that I made. I like to sew as well. So I made this, I think 2 summers ago maybe. Yeah, because last summer was crazy. So I did go, when I was camping, I did make some progress on this. And this, if you didn't tune in to the first podcast, I'm making this throw for our camper. It's the colors of the camper curtains that I made a couple years ago. I took the fabric and I laid it down and I just picked all the colors and then picked a pattern from Attic 24. And I'll talk about Attic 24 a little bit more next time. But that's coming along. I don't know that I will have it finished this summer. I thought I would, but I have a lot going on project-wise. The thing that I wanted to ask everyone, because I'm so frustrated, I've never really had this happen. I have always, with hanks of yarn, no, but skeins of yarn, these are called skeins. I have always pulled from the center. I have had more knots and messes with this time. I mean, I'm pulling out gigantic things. So I actually have started pulling or unwinding on my balls and my, when I have a skein like that, I've started to do the outside and on my cakes as well. I heard something about twist, but it's important that you do that. So I'm curious what you guys do. Let me know what you do. If you go pull from the inside or if you go around. The other projects I have are, you're gonna think I'm crazy because I have so much going on. I do, always. This is the Elm Grove, which is coming along. I thought I'd have it done, but I don't. I have one sleeve left. And if you, this is where I'd also like some help. This is oversized. It wasn't intentional, but I was so far in and it was so big that I decided I was going to make it equally big and then try and felt it a little bit. Now I'm not sure how I'm gonna felt it. I don't have a agitator washing machine. I have hand felted some mittens before just by boiling them and then using rubber gloves and agitating them. And that worked great, which might be what I need to do with this because there are definitely places in here, another truck, where it's way too big right here. So I might be able to hand agitate those places a little bit more. Again, help. I don't know what you guys would do in this situation, but I hope to next time, if I get enough input, I hope that I have that done and you can see and it fits. We'll see. I also have spinning that I've been working on. This is from Lamb Spun, one of the other shops that I talked about, and it's merino and silk. And if you could feel this, I don't know if you can see it, it's kind of shiny, I don't know. Try to put it up there, but it is so beautiful. And the really good thing is that I've gotten so much better at my spinning. I've only been doing it a year, but my goal was to spin really fine, and I'm getting there. I'm just pleased. I did get a new wheel, and it seems to have made a difference. So, yay, because I'd love to make a beautiful sweater out of that. I have enough for a sweater of that too. The next project I have is I am going to make a skirt. This fabric, I don't know if you've ever heard of Liberty of London, but they make the most beautiful fabrics. Through history, they're kind of known for drapery and upholstery and making for the upper class in the UK. Well, they had, at Joann, this is the second year they've had Liberty of London fabric. And it's so different. When I felt it, I'm like, oh my gosh, it's different. And then I wouldn't let myself buy it because it's too expensive. And finally I thought, I'm gonna buy that. I'm gonna go buy that fabric. So I did, and I'm gonna make a skirt. It took me a long time to pick which one because I want them all. But I thought I could wear it with this. I could wear it with, I think I'm gonna make a ranunculus out of this. And I'm also started a Tolsta in fingering because Rebecca just released the fingering version of the Tolsta, and it would be beautiful with this too. And so I'll insert a picture here of all the things that I can wear my skirt with, and I'm sure it will be the end of summer before I get most of these done. So I'll probably have to pick some fall fabric. But this, the Tolsta in this silk, I'll be able to wear under things in the winter. So I'm excited about that because silk's pretty warm. Oh my gosh, I have a lot. I'm so sorry. I think I'm overwhelming you. I have one more thing I'd like advice on. And I need to pause again and go get the... Okay, I'm back. And I changed because I wanted to tell you about this too. This is the Fosette that Devon at Knitty McPurley designed, and she's having a Fosette along. If you go to Instagram, it's Fosette along 2023, and the most beautiful Fosettes are showing up all over. And this is mine. This was a stash buster for me. I used cotton polyester. I think I talked about it last time, but I wanted to show it to you on. So I have a shirt on underneath because it's still a little bit cold here in the morning. But I think I can wear it with a shirt or just bare-armed under something, under a jean jacket would be so cute. I love mine. I'm so excited about it. I almost stopped because this looked a little bit like fish scales when I was getting it at first, and when I was first started. But anyway, I think it turned out really good. But my last thing that I wanted to talk about was this shawl. And when we went to the Estes Park Wool Festival, I wore this under a jean jacket, and I got so many compliments on it. And I thought, that's so weird, because it was like when I was teaching myself how to increase and decrease. So it was one of the very first things I made. And I thought, what else do I have? Because, and here comes sirens too. Oh my goodness. That I could do this again, because this yarn's discontinued. And then I'm looking down in my stash, and I thought, what can I do with this ribbon yarn that I've had forever? I don't know if you can see it. It's like ribbon, and it's really thin. And I thought, you know what? I could probably make a shawl with that. So anyway, that also is something that I will possibly do. I don't know. You guys, I have a million things. And I'm gonna do this podcast. Wow. And I sew and spinning and crocheting and full-time job. My sister and I have a business together. We are fine jewelers. We have a 4th generation business. So that is a full-time job if you can imagine. And I've been doing it for 37 years, I think now. And my sister joined about 5 years ago. So yeah, we're busy. And then I have all this, and then I'm going to do a podcast. No wonder she doesn't want to do it. I'm crazy. But I hope you enjoy it. Next time, I'd like to talk about which podcasts I watch and why. I have the best tip for keeping your buttons from being floppy, especially when they're the ones that have the little hook on the back rather than buttonholes. And also some crochet projects. So I think I'll sign off. Thank you so much for being gracious and subscribing and liking and watching, because I was so nervous to do this by myself. Like I said, the first time was I didn't think I'd put it up. This time I knew it was going up, and I was so nervous. That's probably why I've been up since 4:30. I thought, what am I gonna say? I did fall back asleep, thank goodness, because I would have been useless today. Well, it sounds like the world is getting a little bit noisier. I need to podcast earlier, because earlier it was just the birds. Now the world has woken up and I can hear all kinds of things. So thank you again for watching. Please comment and let me know if you enjoy the outdoor content. Things that I would love help. I would love help on the felting and different things that I'm not so good at. And then also what you'd like to see. Thank you so much. Oh, and where you're from. I'd love to know where you're from. Thank you for watching. Thank you for your graciousness again. I'll see you in episode 2. Just one Knitty cat. But I'll be here. Until next time.